Hi everyone, Namaste. I hope all are you very good and be safe, protect yourself during this second wave of the COVID-19. So today I'm going to start a new chapter, that is states of matter. So chapter name is states of matter. All of you know that matter is mainly three states, that is the solids, liquids and gases. In this chapter mainly we study gaseous states only and very little study of liquid state is also there. But first, what is a matter? All we know that matter is any substance which possesses some mass and which occupies some space. That is called matter. So the definition of matter is any substance which possesses some mass and which occupies some space. So matter is mainly three states. Those are solids, liquids and gases. So how to differentiate which is a solid, which is a liquid and which is a gas? The basic difference between these three states is the presence of intermolecular forces. Intermolecular forces. So these are the forces of interactions between the interacting particles. So what are the intermolecular forces? How many types are there? We will discuss briefly. But first of all, solids always possess strong intermolecular forces, whereas gases will possess weak intermolecular forces. The intermolecular forces are very strong, they are behaves as like solids. The intermolecular forces are weak and they are behaving like as a gas. If liquids contains in between intermolecular forces, that means not strong like as solids or not weak like as a gases. Liquids exhibit in between intermolecular forces. If the intermolecular forces are stronger, suppose we are taking two particles, if between these two particles strong interactions are there, the distance between the particles will be less. So stronger the intermolecular forces, then lesser the internuclear distance. So solids will exhibit lesser the internuclear distance, whereas gases will exhibit larger internuclear distance. As usual, liquids will exhibit in between internuclear distance. So solids will exhibit strong intermolecular forces and lesser the internuclear distance. Similarly, solids are incompressible in nature, whereas gases are highly compressible. Similarly, liquids will exhibit in between compressibility factor. And all we know, solids will exhibit definite shape and definite volume. Gases does not exhibit any shape and no specific volume. But when we are going to liquids, liquids will exhibit specific volume but no shape. So these are the mainly basic differences between solids, liquids and gases, and all we know that the solids, liquids and gases, the main basic difference is the presence of intermolecular forces. If these intermolecular forces are stronger, they behave like solids. If these intermolecular forces are weak, they behave like as a gas. And as usual, liquids will exhibit in between intermolecular forces. So write these points. Pause the video and write these points. So now we'll learn what are intermolecular forces. So as I said before, intermolecular forces are the force of attraction and repulsions between the interacting particles. These are also named as van der Waals forces. On behalf of van der Waals scientist, intermolecular attractive force we are calling as van der Waals forces. These van der Waals forces are number of types are there. One by one we'll see. The first van der Waals force is London forces, which is also called dispersion forces, which are also called instantaneous dipole induced dipole forces. So the first intermolecular forces can be London forces, which is also called dispersion forces, also called instantaneous dipole and induced dipole forces. So what are actually these forces are? These are the force of attraction between non-polar molecules. So between any non-polar molecules, the forces will exist. That forces we are calling as London forces or dispersion forces or instantaneous dipole induced dipole forces. So non-polar molecules. Example, we are taking H2 molecule. So this is a H2 molecule. Between this hydrogen and hydrogen, there is a covalent bond is there. Similarly, we are taking another H2 molecule. And this is also there is a covalent bond between the two hydrogen atoms. So this is one molecule. This is another H2 molecule. So between the hydrogen molecule, the forces will exist. These forces we are calling as London forces, also called dispersion forces. Why? Because here H2 is a non-polar molecule. Both hydrogen atoms are similar atoms. There is no electronegativity difference. Hence, it is treated as non-polar molecules. Similarly, we are taking CO2 molecule, carbon dioxide molecule, another carbon dioxide molecule. Even though CO2 has different atoms, but it is also non-polar molecules since it is a linear molecule whose dipole moment is equal to 0. Hence, it is treated as non-polar molecule. So, between these non-polar molecules, the existing forces are called London forces. So, London forces always exist between non-polar molecules. Number of examples we have like hydrogen, oxygen, chlorine, nitrogen, all noble gases. CO2, CCl4, etc. So between any non-polar molecules, the existing forces we are calling as London forces. These are the weak forces and these are also called van der Waals forces. Note these all examples. So London forces exist between the non-polar molecules. Now what is meant by instantaneous dipole induced dipole forces? So we know H2 is a non-polar molecule. Even it is a non-polar molecule, at an instant of time, the electronic cloud of this molecule will shift it to one side. The side will exhibit partial negative charge and the other side will exhibit partial positive charge. So at a particular time, they will be exhibit some charges. That's why this is called also instantaneous dipole. It is a temporary dipole. Because of this dipole, the other H2 molecule also exhibit dipole and that dipole is called induced dipole molecule. So between these forces are called instantaneous dipole and induced dipole. However, these dipoles are only temporary dipoles. So always these exhibit between two non-polar molecules. So the second type of intermolecular forces, that is van der Waals forces, will be dipole forces. So dipole forces. So what are the dipole forces? These are the forces which exist between polar molecules. So polar molecule means whose dipole moment cannot be equal to 0. They exhibit some permanent dipole moment. Those are called polar molecules. So between the polar molecules, the existing forces are called dipole forces. Example, this is HCl molecule and another HCl molecule. So between two HCl molecules, the existing forces we are calling as dipole forces. Why? Because in HCl, the both atoms are different atom. We know chlorine is more electronegative. Because of more electronegativity, electronic cloud is shifted towards chlorine atom. It will exhibit partial negative and the hydrogen will exhibit partial positive charge. Same like here, hydrogen will exhibit partial positive and the chlorine will exhibit partial negative charge. So between these partial charges, the existing forces are called dipole forces. So number of examples are there. Water, SO2 molecule, SF4 molecule, etc. So between any polar molecule, the existing forces are called dipole forces. If these dipole forces present in the atoms like fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen, and these dipole forces we are calling as hydrogen bond. So hydrogen bond is a special case of dipole forces. If the dipole forces exist in between fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen. Example, if you are taking HF like HCl, HF is also polar molecule. So between one HF and another HF molecule, some dipole forces will exist. And these dipole forces we are naming as hydrogen bond. So because of highly electronegativity of fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen, the bond strength will be stronger when compared with all van der Waals forces. That's why these are treated as separate bond. Hydrogen bond is a special case of dipole forces. Another example, water. One H2O molecule, another H2O molecules contains hydrogen bonded intermolecular forces. Like that, another example will be ammonia, NH3, NH3. They also contain hydrogen bonded. So whenever dipole forces is present in the atoms like fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen, and that dipole forces we are calling as hydrogen bond. So dipole forces always exist between polar molecules. As before I said, London forces exist between non-polar molecules. Now the third type of van der Waals forces will be induced dipole forces. So as we know, dipole means that is a polar molecule. Induced dipole means that is a non-polar molecule. So these are the forces which exist between polar and non-polar molecules. Between polar and non-polar molecules. Example, if you are taking HCl molecule, as we know HCl molecule is a polar molecule, and also we are taking hydrogen molecule. So between this hydrogen and this HCl, some forces will exist. So these van der Waals forces we are calling as induced dipole forces. So we know that there must be partial negative and partial positive in the polar HCl molecule. But however, H2 is a non-polar molecule. But because of this polarity, there is a possibility of some partial positive, partial negative, and this is called induced dipole. Induced means by the influence of other molecule, formation of dipole will be possible, and that dipole is called induced dipole. So between polar and non-polar molecule, the existing forces are called dipole-induced dipole forces. So all these three types are called van der Waals forces. London forces, and the second one is dipole-dipole forces, and the third one is dipole-induced dipole forces. These three are van der Waals forces. Now, all these van der Waals forces are weak forces first of all. Among this, the order of attractions will be dipole-dipoles are stronger. After that, dipole-induced dipole. After that, London forces. So this is the order of interactions of van der Waals forces: dipole-dipole, dipole-induced dipole, and London forces. So these three are called van der Waals forces. However, there are some extra intermolecular forces are there along these van der Waals forces, and that extra intermolecular forces we'll see what are they. So the other intermolecular forces are ion dipole forces. Another one is ion induced dipole forces. One is ion dipole, another one is ion induced dipole. However, these two are not included in van der Waals forces: ion dipole and ion induced dipole. So what is ion dipole force? These are the forces which exist between ion and polar molecules. So between ion and polar molecules, the existing forces we are calling as ion dipole forces. Example, if NaCl we are dissolving in water, and the force of attraction between NaCl and water we are calling as ion dipole forces. Why? Because NaCl dissociated to Na plus and Cl minus ions. These Na plus ions will interact with water molecules. So there is a partial negative charge of oxygen and partial positive charge of hydrogen. So between this ion and between this negative charge, some forces will exist, and these forces we are calling as ion dipole. So this is an ion and this is a polar molecule. Between ion and polar molecule, some forces will exist. Those are called ion dipole forces. Same like Cl minus ion also combines with some water molecule, like this, partial negative, partial positive. So between this negative ion and partial positive of hydrogen, the existing forces we are calling as ion dipole forces. So ion dipole forces exist between ion and polar molecule. Similarly, the second one is ion induced dipole molecule. Example, so these forces will exist in between ion. So induced dipole means it is only temporary. That means those are non-polar molecules. So between ion and non-polar molecules, the existing forces we are calling as ion induced dipole forces. Example, Cl minus and Cl2 molecule. So between one ion and one non-polar molecule, the existing forces we are calling as ion induced dipole forces. So all these are intermolecular forces which exist between constituent particles. Particles may be atoms or they may be molecules. So all these intermolecular forces, already I have given one order. So the exact order of these intermolecular forces will be, the strongest intermolecular forces will be ion dipole. After that, dipole-dipole. After that, ion induced dipole. After that, dipole induced dipole, and the least one is the London forces. So this is the order of intermolecular forces. Ion dipoles are strong forces when compared with other. After that, dipole forces, ion induced dipole forces, dipole induced dipole, and London forces. So all these are the intermolecular forces. But remember one thing: ion dipole and ion induced dipole does not include in van der Waals forces. Van der Waals forces can be dipole dipole, dipole induced dipole, and London forces. All these are the intermolecular forces. So as I said before, so these intermolecular forces are responsible for the physical state of a system, so solids, liquids, and gases. Example, if these intermolecular forces are very stronger, that is called as solid. The very weak forces are there, they are called as gases. In between forces are there, they are called as liquids. So based on the intermolecular forces, the state of a system can be changed. And these intermolecular forces mostly we are calling as van der Waals forces. And this van der Waals forces is always depends on molecular weight. If molecular weight is more, van der Waals forces are more. Example, if I am taking halogen group, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. So top to bottom when we are moving, molecular weight will be increases. So iodine will exhibit high molecular weight. Because of high molecular weight, they exhibit high van der Waals force of attraction. Due to high van der Waals force of attraction, iodine always exists in solid form. Whereas fluorine and chlorine are weak van der Waals forces, they both will exist in gas form, whereas bromine will exist in liquid form. So van der Waals forces based on molecular weight. So molecular weight is more, van der Waals forces are more, they will be exist in solid form. If van der Waals forces are weak, they exist in gas form. Similarly, van der Waals forces also depends on surface area. More the surface area, more the van der Waals force of attraction. For example, if you are taking N-pentane, and this will be isopentane. And this will be neopentane. All these pentanes have same molecular formula, but the structure is different. All these are called isomers. So N-pentane is a linear molecule. So linear molecules exhibit more surface area. If surface area is more, van der Waals forces are more. So due to van der Waals forces, this N-pentane will exhibit high boiling point when compared with isopentane and neopentane. So N-pentane is high boiling point. After that isopentane, least is the neopentane. So this is the order of boiling point. So the order of boiling point depends on van der Waals force of attraction. And this van der Waals force of attraction depends on surface area, also depends on molecular weight. So another important point is all these van der Waals forces of attractions. These forces of attractions are inversely proportional to 6th power of distance between the interacting particles. The attractions, van der Waals forces, it can be London forces, it can be dipole forces, or it can be dipole induced dipole forces. All these interactions are always inversely proportional to 6th power of distance between the particles. So here R is the distance between the interacting particles. If you are taking ion dipole forces, and this ion dipole forces will be inversely proportional to square of distance between the particles. So ion dipole forces is directly proportional to, inversely proportional to square of distance between particles, whereas remaining all van der Waals forces will be inversely proportional to 6th power of distance between the interacting particles. So this is about van der Waals forces and intermolecular forces. Now we see another concept, that is thermal energy. So what actually thermal energy is? It is the energy due to motion of particles. So whenever any particles are moving in the matter, due to movement of the particles, the releasing of some energy will be takes place, and that energy we are calling as thermal energy. As we know, gases has very weak intermolecular forces, so they move randomly. So more the motion, more the energy, the thermal energy order will be thermal energy of gases always greater than liquids, and which is always greater than solids. So that is the definition of thermal energy. It is the energy due to movement of particles. So gaseous particles exhibit high momentum. So due to that they exhibit high thermal energy. After that liquid, after that solids. That is the thermal energy concept.